There he is. There he is. I was like, did you forget him or
I was gonna
kill
let
him
you
or
go
something?
first
I
this
don't know.
time.
Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Yo, 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 YouTube. Welcome back to the usual late start of the uh live Wednesday night chat. Apologize for being a little late. I knew I was going to be a little late tonight. I had a pile of stuff today that was happening and I was cutting it close, but we're here. We made it. We did it. We're still only 1 week down of
Yay, team.
not having a show. Yeah, yay team. So we chatted a little bit before we got started here. Not as much as we usually do since we were getting on late, but
Dude, did you
um
forget something?
huh?
There's something you didn't say yet.
Yo yo yo.
Yeah,
I started out with that.
I didn't hear it. It used
I
to
did.
be
I said yo
a
yo yo YouTube.
major start of the
Oh
show.
no. Oh no. Oh no. No no no. Not for the live. Not for the live. Um yeah, so we were now I forgot what I was gonna say. You threw me off track here. We were just talking about card shows and pickups and things tend to change a bit over time, and it feels like that with some card show stuff too. Seeing more and more TCG stuff and that kind of thing, and um, not that that's necessarily a bad thing,
Right.
but it's just different. The first few card shows I went to, I don't think I saw a single Pokemon card, and then that's really gained traction at the shows.
It definitely has. Like, I don't think it's a stretch to say 40% of the tables at shows
Yeah,
sometimes are Pokemon.
yeah. I even at our show, even at the Goat Show, which by the way, yeah, we finally have everything locked down for that, as far as, production wise. And January 12th at the historic Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay, where the original Green Bay Packers annual meeting was held back when Lombardi used to get on stage and talk about owning shares of the Packers and keeping the team in town and all that good stuff. So has a little bit of Packer ties too, which is kind of fun.
That is a true story, and I really
Mhm.
didn't realize that until our well, really when we began putting the show together. Like, I didn't
Mhm.
know the Packers used to practice in there sometimes and stuff like that. That's great. Now, in fairness, isn't it a replacement of the original building? Wasn't there a fire at some
I
time?
don't. I probably. I
Yeah,
honestly don't know. That is an old building though, so I would venture to guess that they still did things in that actual building.
yeah, like parts of
Um,
it they saved.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe not the entire history of everything was in there, but it's still kind of a neat place in Green Bay from that aspect. If you go backstage, which we had a chance to do before the last show, there's a bunch of signatures on the dressing room walls or the whatever if you want to call it the green room walls from different bands and acts that have been there, and it's a cool place,
It
cool
is.
layout. So we will be hosting it again there. JC3 Cards and Collectibles and the Dollar Box will be your hosts. um, You can see the flyer on the screen there. No, the flyer is a little more simple than it was last time, and there's a couple different reasons for that. One, the first one was the first show, so we really had to put everything on there so everybody
Right.
knew exactly what was gonna be happening. The first show has occurred, we have photos from it, we're gonna be, putting a lot more stuff on the Facebook page as we get closer as well. But we wanted to simplify it a little bit. We really wanted our buddy Stu there in the middle to kinda stand out, with him screaming his cards, and just keep it a little simple. The other thing is those spaces towards the top of the page, those will be filled in over in the future as we have announcements for giveaways and um, free packs for kids and different things like that. So we wanted to have some space there to be able to grow. Um, this presentation. But the important stuff is there. The information on how to book tables, the time, the location, food, drink, all those things that attendees or vendors would be interested in. We we were doing something which I think is kind of a smart move, and maybe other shows do this too. I don't know, but we contacted all the first show vendors to give them the first opportunity to buy tables and select where their tables are located.
Right.
Uh, so our lovely spouses who do much of the behind the scenes work, we get all the glory, but they do all the work. Um, they were able to put together a nice digital layout of the entire room, numbering all the tables, so the dealers really know what's going on, and they have an opportunity if they book right away, to be able to choose their spots, which can be an advantage at shows, as we know. And they,
Yeah.
of course, know the layout of the rooms because they've been there. So we're going to give them an opportunity to do that, before we take on new vendors, and help them find their places. So that's the goals. We want to try to get the feedback from the original vendors and continue to grow the show with them. They took a chance on us, jumping into this new show. We want to make sure that we stay with them and continue to give them an opportunity to help us make it the best show it can possibly be.
Absolutely.
So we do have one thing for sure we're doing additionally this time that we didn't do last time, and we're going to use Charlie's tech skills. His peak tech skills will be employed at this show. We are going to be displaying. Well, we're gonna be set up a little bit aside from the rest of the show, and we're gonna have some monitors and things set up, and we're going to demo Card Dealer Pro and the scanner and scanning cards in and that kind of thing, um, to show others, how to do it and how we do it and stuff. And I think that could be kind of fun. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there are always a lot of people that are kind of on the fence. Oh, do I go to a scanner? Do I not use a scanner? I think it's a great opportunity for someone to see it live and in person and in practice. And I think if you're a person like me, that goes a long way towards making a decision. Like I'm a very tactile buyer. Like I want to feel it in
Hmm.
my hands. I want to make sure I understand the quality of things. Like, yes, I buy things off of Amazon, but it took me a long time to get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
If at all possible, I still will go to a brick and mortar place and experience something for myself before I make a final decision. So I think it's an opportunity for some people to really try that out. They can see how it loads in, how it scans, how it uploads to CDP, the different options you can have. You can open it up and take a look inside to see kind of how does something like that work. So I think there's nothing better than having something in your hands to check out when you're trying to make a decision.
Yeah, and I think even for those who aren't sellers or aren't interested in doing any of that, I think it would still be interesting just to see how we do. It's a chance for us to show our work, right? Because I sit in this office in the basement all day long and no one has any clue what I'm doing. And um and you're kind of the same. I mean, you're sort of in the
Yeah.
same spot that I am. So it just gives us an opportunity to show, hey, this is kind of how we run our business, and these cards can scan, these cards can't, and this is how you edit some of it, and you know, um, using your templates and things like that. Um, I think it'll be fun, and it might not have a huge interest. I don't know. We'll see, but it's something we wanted to try. I can't think of any other situation where we could do this. Like, it has to pretty much be at a card show. Where else would you do it?
Right.
So, we're gonna take advantage of that and um, put this together. I did contact Card Dealer Pro, and they are sending us some goodies. Um, I don't know what that means, exactly what they have, but we'll have some things to sort of support our efforts. from
Yeah.
Colex or Colex, um,
There you go.
who is the parent company for CDP or Car Dealer Pro. So looking forward to that. We have some ideas to add a few other things, but until we really get together and get all that stuff solidified, um, we'll come out with some more information going forward. We just want to make sure we had all the banking stuff settled. We had some organizational things we had to take care of. I of course we got behind because I had a sickness running through my house, and Charlie's so busy with the football, and it was a really tough time for us to put it out any sooner. Now we can really focus on it and make it a super awesome show. We still have plenty of time. We're not even into November yet.
Right.
This is a January show. And we've already done one. So we have kind of the little buggy or the little what ify type things sort of, figured out already. We're just kind of, what are the things we're going to add on top of it
Yeah,
essentially.
the primary models in front of us, right?
Yep. And the dealers know where it is, the customers know where it is. We made our tweaks with the venue on things that we wanted done and improved and added to. Um, so we're in a really good spot. We just need to kind of round out some of the extra and the new things that we're gonna add to it. So I'm really
Right.
excited about it. A January show is awesome because everyone wants to go to shows in January. What the hell else are you gonna
What
do?
else are you gonna do? Yeah.
We're in Green Bay. We might have 8 feet of snow by then. Who knows? Um, it'll be cold out. It's gonna be, it'll be a fun place to come, hang out, get some good food, buy some cards, hang out at the tables, break some boxes, chat with your buddies. And if you're a dealer, ain't no better time to set up than in January, because if you can't get
Right.
customers in January, you're not doing it right. So if you've thought about getting a table or you want to get tables, this would be a great show to do it. January peak time. Plenty of parking there. It'll be plowed out, so everybody will be able to get in and out of it real easy. And we really look forward to seeing as many people out there as possible. If you're in the Green Bay area, if not, and you want to come hang out, let us know. We can help you get some accommodations and make sure you can be part of it as well. I'd like to try to do a better job with maybe some streaming and doing some different things. Um, we had some challenges with microphones, like I normally do. I suck at the tech side of this stuff really bad, so that didn't help. But maybe we'll do some, since we're going to have the computer stuff set up, maybe we'll do some live streaming right from a desktop PC. I could bring
Yeah.
my mic and clamp that on, my good mic here. We could clamp that on and do some stuff that way. Since, for 5 hours, we're not going to demonstrate Car Dealer Pro. Like there isn't
Right.
that much to do for five. So I think that's what maybe we'll do is just kind of use that as our media location where we can do some media stuff from there and allow more table space then for dealers. We won't have dealer space to take up and that kind of thing, since obviously we can't run a table and run Car Dealer Pro. So
Right.
we're gonna do it this way instead. Be the media hosts. Try to be more interactive with some of that stuff. I wanted to do some interviews. I couldn't do that. I had to watch my own table. So I think that's something that we learned from the first show that we're going to kind of adjust that and um, hopefully we'll sell plenty of tables that it won't be something that we would even have to talk about because we're going to have all the tables, um, filled with dealers. But we look forward to participating at a different level and um, bringing something new to the show that way as well.
For
And of
sure.
course, our lovely spouses will be there to assist everyone and do the drawing. I can tell you now, we don't have it on the flyer yet because I don't have the item. I will be getting it at the end of the month. But I can tell you we will have another autograph helmet giveaway. I finally posted the pictures on the Goat Show page of our recipient of the Randy Moss autographed helmet. He was very excited. Um, but we will have a Sterling Sharp autographed mini helmet, Packers mini helmet.
Nice.
Yeah, so we upped our game. We went from the Vikings to the Packers. Well, I guess I guess there's an argument both ways to that one, but being in Packer country, I think we hope we'll have maybe a little bit more interest in the Packer helmet. I think we raised like 200 and some bucks too for coats for kids.
I think so.
um, in doing that raffle. So it was really nice to have something for the community. I think are we doing Paul's Pantry on this one? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I knew we kicked a couple different ones around. So we're doing Paul's Pantry, so bring some food and some canned goods. That's the time of year where food is tough for a lot of people, being winter. And we can get you into some drawings, and hopefully someone that really wants it will be able to take home that Sterling Sharp helmet. And if not, if you can't take it home, I will drive it to your house. That's what I did this last time. So hopefully you don't live in 10 states away or something, um but I can tell you we'll have that will be added to the flyer once we have some photos and something better to present image wise. And wanted to try to maybe add some photos on as well the uh from the previous show. We had some really nice crowd shots. It was a very busy
Yep.
show. Considering it was the very first one and it was in July, which is generally not a very good show season around here because of
It
weather.
was the first weekend of football, I believe.
First weekend of football. Well, yeah, it was August, wasn't it?
First week of
Because
August, yeah.
yeah, first week of August because it was
Wait,
the
no, it
national
was first week of September. What are we talking about?
September. I don't know. I'm really bad at this stuff. Memory wise that way. But anyway, yeah. So that's not necessarily the best, most busiest show season period and things like that. So January definitely is. Um, football cards will be super hot. We'll be coming into the playoffs, things like that. So it should be a great time. We're really looking forward to it, and like I said, hopefully we can see as many of you out there as possible. We did expand the food menu a little bit. We'll have some more advertising on the marquee, which was something we kind of missed last time. Love more garbage cans. Uh,
Yeah,
all those little things that kind of just you don't know until you do the first one. The venue doesn't really know. We didn't really know. Um, we learned from that first one, and everything's just going to keep getting better from there. So
right.
um come on out, check it out. All right. So that was our main topic to first cover, was of course to promote our promote our own card show. uh hey, it's my live show. You're gonna have to listen to my card show promotion. um but I did have a couple other topics tonight. um and actually I have one more, Charlie, that I didn't send you earlier,
Okay.
that I had that crossed my mind when I was in the bathroom, actually, ironically enough.
Well, that's good to
Um,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, now you know it, and you can't unknow it. You can't unknow it.
I bet it's a
So
crappy idea.
it was, yeah, yeah. I was shooting craps. But anyway, eBay has come out with some new feedback policies, and they favor the sellers finally, because there's so many things that we weren't able to do with feedback that was very, very fun, very frustrating, I guess would be the best way to put it. So I'm really happy to see uh, them starting to take a little bit of a seller side. Uh, I don't even want them to favor sellers, because I don't think anybody should be favored in anything ever. I think it should just be fair, right? If the feedback doesn't make sense, then it's unfair to the seller. If the feedback is warranted because the seller, didn't fulfill their obligation, well, then the feedback should stay. So they just need to have, a fair, when that's what gets kind of frustrating with these policies. They write these policies and then they go, "Well, this is our policy." Well, then change the dang policy, because it's stupid and it doesn't make sense. And they're really starting to do that. There's a lot of sites you can list on now that want sellers. They're looking for sellers. eBay's always kind of been like, we just need buyers, because when the internet started, people weren't going to buy anything on the internet. Just like Charlie said less than 15 minutes ago. I didn't buy stuff from Amazon. I don't know who Amazon was. Don't they just sell books? Why am I going to
Right.
get a toilet seat from
Once upon a
them?
time, they did just
Um
sell books.
so right. So these other sites are like, well, we need sellers because all the sellers are on eBay, because that's where all the buyers were, and they're like, well, if we can get sellers, then we can get buyers. And so now it's actually a competitive marketplace. And I think eBay's going, we're gonna lose a lot of these good sellers. Well, hell, they lost their number one card seller to Fanatics. Um, so that was definitely a huge blow to them. So I'm looking forward to seeing more and more seller type things, focused things coming out to really help us with our businesses.
Yeah.
And they've never forgotten the sellers. I don't really believe that. I feel like since for as long as I've been with eBay, things have gotten better on the seller side all the time too. But it just didn't feel like we were the priority. Like we were the okay, well, I guess we should probably do this for the sellers, and um it felt like it was always buyers first. And they never really hid that fact, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know, they wanted to be a trusted, I remember their original slogan was like trusted, free online marketplace or something like that. Well, it's like, well, that's from the buyer's perspective.
Right.
Um, which again was the smart move. That was the smart play when you were starting out, but you don't have to do that anymore. Now you can have a fair play level because I'm a seller, you're a buyer, but we have that middleman that we both do trust and know, which is eBay. So now let's just have eBay be that middle moderator, and they just make it fair for the buyer and fair for the seller.
Now, wasn't it just a couple months ago that they rolled out feedback changes that were actually heavily swayed to the buyer? Like, it was harder to get feedback removed for a while and things like that. It wasn't very long ago that it made that turn.
You know, you're right. But I think what they were trying to do was just to make the buyer feel like they had some say in how the transaction was happening. And then
Yeah.
what eBay realized by making those types of changes, what they realized was there was a lot of crap coming in
Yeah.
that really needed to be addressed, and they couldn't address it because now they had made this change on the buyer's side.
A lot of that might
Um,
have been front and center with their seller features at the eBay Open too.
that could be, and I think part of it too was they were just kind of kicking off live, and live is scary for a lot of online, platforms because oh my gosh, everything's happening real time. How do we handle all this? So I
Yeah.
think they were just kind of trying to curb that a little bit. And now everybody can't sell on live, which I still don't understand that either. That and limited listings, those are the two things that you'll never convince me are smart decisions on their part. But I think that was kind of their way to be like, now these buyers are going to be able to say something about you. And then boom, live comes out, shortly after that. Well, I think it was kind of, I don't want to say a scare tactic, but I think it was just sort of a reminder tactic that the buyer still, holds a lot of cards in these deals. So
For sure.
play, play fair. um, but yeah, so that was kind of a nice article that came out. I was happy to see that. So that was a topic that I really wanted to cover that I didn't discuss with you ahead of time.
You didn't give me feedback on feedback?
Because I feel like that's definitely going to. I didn't give you feedback on feedback. No, I did not. They it's what's kind of frustrating with it. It's some with their um, memos, if you want to call them that, updates. Sometimes is that they're still kind of vague. Like it doesn't really say like, well, if this happens, then we remove that feedback. Like they won't have any definitions of anything. What they're saying is they're going to review it with a more open mind that they're not trying to favor the buyer and they're not trying to favor the seller. They're just going to make like the decision that makes sense. Versus it was like, okay, well, we're going to lean towards the buyers, which is what you're talking about.
Mhm.
That they had kind of presented to previously. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if it makes any difference. I've never really had a problem with feedback for the most part. Um, but yeah, you can get some crazy ones out there where that doesn't even make sense. Great card, thanks so much. Negative. Like I don't get it. What. great card, thanks so much, but you leave me a negative, um, and you can request that the buyer changes their feedback, but what happens when they don't? You have no recourse then. And so I think that's kind of what's bringing this about is like, come on, you can't leave. If they say great card, it was delivered on time, like you met all the things you were required to do, they got to take that off. Like that's not, how's that helping anyone? It's not helping the buyers either, because the next buyer
Yeah.
that comes in, to look at you is reading that feedback and they're like, I don't understand what's going on here, Um, or if they just look at the numbers, which is even worse, they just see that there's a negative. Well, from what? What did the seller do? So,
Right.
um, so a very positive step. And it's kind of ironic because we had just been having a big long thread in in the Discord channel about, I got this feedback and I posted around there right away. Feedback doesn't matter because you can't really control it. If somebody says, "Hey, I didn't this guy wears a weird tie, so I didn't feel comfortable in my transaction." Well, okay, well, you wear a weird tie. Like you can't how you gonna change that? If you worry about everything in your life that you have no control over, it's gonna be a very, very terrible life.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's encouraging. I think it shows them kind of leaning towards a little bit more seller support. I'm still waiting for them to drop the fees or go to no fees, due to all the card selling competition. I think that would be a huge boost. Um, I think it's coming at some point here that maybe they're trying to figure that out. Like maybe it'll be based on certain dollar amounts, so that people aren't selling $1.2 million cards on eBay and then not eBay doesn't get a cut of anything.
Yeah,
Um,
they don't want that for sure.
so right, because the the other categories that drop those fees due to competition are ones that don't have $1.3 million products. Uh, even if you look at the sneaker sales, top sneakers are what, 15, $20,000 in most cases. You don't see much above that, and even though that's pretty rare, those kinds of prices. Where in cards, that's not. There's a lot of cards that are way over those prices. So I imagine they're trying to figure out some kind of structure in there so that they can still obviously make money on it, but um, you know, help us out, help stay competitive with some of these other markets that are growing and getting more buyers and
Right.
sellers every day.
Yeah, I think that's good. Oh boy,
So the other topic.
we we,
Oh,
we got to take a time out here for a second. I have a
okay,
big decision to make. Big decision. So also a little trivia here.
okay.
So I have an offer on a card right now. I'm wondering
Ooh,
what what
spicy.
what what does the gang think I should do? Should I accept it or should I not? So the trivia piece is who this player is. It is a
Hmm.
1977 Topps rookie card of fictional baseball player, Yankee slugger, Clu Hayward.
Okay.
So who
He's
would that
fictional.
be? Fictional, yeah.
Hmm. Oh my gosh, 1977 rookie.
There it is. There it is. Pete Vukovich.
I don't know who that
Milwaukee
is.
Brewers Pete Vukovich, but
Oh,
actually his rookie year was with Toronto.
okay. What's the
Yes.
offer?
150.
And what's your
What do
ask?
we I'm asking $1.99. Backside looks pretty good.
I
Front
think
side
you
looks
uh
pretty good.
I think you know what I would do.
I think you would know. I think you would know. I think the gang would have an idea here what to do as well.
So do we want them to answer or do you want me to answer?
Well, they're answering in the chat right now. They're answering in the chat. Should we jump ahead and see what some of their advice is?
Yeah, it looks like Troy says accept.
Yep.
Uh, Max says Vuk. He doesn't have an opinion on the offer. Troy says it's a Blue Jay, so you have to accept it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think he's biased.
ball, ball card says a buck 75.
Okay, okay.
Oops, I skipped ahead. Branded collectible says accept. Make sure you insult them in the message. Right, of
Yeah, we had a
course.
bit of that in the Discord this week, right?
You have if you want to be an American, you have to. Um, let's see, where am I? Johnny says counter at 175.
Okay,
Dan
all
right,
right.
damn right, I'm biased. Max says counter. Takedown and relist at 299. I love your
Ooh,
thinking,
that's a
Average Dave.
strategy.
I've done that before. I've denied offers and gone, "Oh, I didn't even ask enough for that. Thanks for the reminder."
Well, it's funny you say that because I sold another card today that I turned down an offer on and then sold it at full price. You know, we see
Yep.
that a lot too.
Yeah. You do not have to accept offers, every
Right,
offer. That's for
right.
sure. Tell them you have kids to feed and accept it. Dan says counter at 151.
151.
Oh gosh. My cost on a single card shipped is $1.30, not counting cog. Why make only 20 cents? Um,
Yeah,
it depends on how much you have there. It depends on the customer. There's some other things that can play into
right,
that. But
right.
what
I,
I
you
do,
know,
do you
go
want to know
ahead.
what I do or what I think you
Yeah,
should
go
do?
ahead.
Lofi Joe says $1.98. I like that thinking too. Um, I how I handle this, because I have plenty of cards at $1.99 where I get $1.50 offers. That's not unusual. I counter at $1.89.
Yeah,
And many times I get it because I think people are just trying to get your lowest price, right?
sure.
So if you accept offers, why not make an offer? Why the hell pay $1.99? Now, to me, a $2, what's a $2 card? Um, but I counter at $1.89 because I kind of agree with Johnny on this one. He says,
Uh-huh.
"Why accept $1.50? Like, if your lowest price on cards you're listing is $1.99, why would you want to accept $1.50? The reason you're asking $1.99 is because that's a reasonable price for you to operate your business at.
Right, right.
And this is a buyer who was looking to buy one card.
Mhm.
Um, but in the same light, it's not a key card.
Right.
I'm guessing you didn't pay much for this card, maybe a nickel or a dime, right?
Yep.
So, your investment is small. Um, so your cost of goods part, doesn't bite into it too much. But I don't think I would just accept at $1.50. Um, if the buyer came through and had 3 or 4 cards they were offering $1.50 on, that everything changes once there's quantity. When it's a single card, meh. I'm not that encouraged to make that deal because it's going to be work for you. So let's say you
Right.
accept that offer at $1.50. You're gonna have to pull it. You're gonna have to. It's gonna be full expenses for you because it's a single card. So you got the envelope and the card saver and the sleeve and the postage and the whole ball of wax. Is it promoted? Is there a
Um,
promoted percentage cutting into that?
this one I do not believe it is. Let me double check that. I believe I just recently listed this one too. Yeah, I listed this one on the 22nd, so I do not have it promoted yet.
Okay, so at least you
Yeah.
don't have that. That makes it a little bit easier. But I would say, if they really want the card, you come back at and this is again just me. Everybody else has different takes on this, but I'd come back at $1.89. If they come back at like $1.75, I'd take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
On a card like that, getting a buck 75, I think that's pretty solid. And then it
Yeah.
shows you worked with the customer, and
Yeah,
hopefully they'd be back to buy some other stuff.
for sure. So here's how I look at it. There are plenty of cards that I do accept $1.50 on. Okay, there's certain
Mhm.
cards that I'm like, yeah, I've had this a while. Let's move it, get something else, right?
Sure.
This particular card I look at and I say, Pete Vukovich is not just your typical ball player. You have the major league, cameo in there. Not really a cameo, but actually a meaty role in that. So you have more than just a baseball fan base there, right? So you know him a little bit better. I feel like there's more buyers out there than a lot of other 1977 rookie cards that are not superstars. And
Hmm.
in fairness, Pete Vukovich is not a superstar, um, but he was a character, so I know that name
Hmm.
is known in baseball circles. What I'm going to do on this one, because I feel there's a stronger market out there.
Added value. Yeah.
Yeah, I am going to counter, and I'm going to counter at $1.75, and I anticipate this buyer will take it. And if they don't, I am totally fine with that.
Yep.
Now, part of the reason I want to counter is because I list it or best offer. I don't want to list things or best offer if I'm never going to negotiate on a card, right?
Right.
So that's kind of my thinking on it. If I wanted to be firm at $1.99, I would not select or best offer.
Right. Exactly. If you for sure need that price, generally, um, and we've talked about this in the past too. Generally, I will price above what I actually want to get for the card.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want $1.75 for that card, I'll price it at $1.99 because I'll
Right.
probably meet with the buyer at some point at $1.75. There's a potential loss to turning off offers too, though, because
Right.
a lot of people will just pass on by and not give you an opportunity. The
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like it's just getting that attention, right? So they see the auction, the listing at $1.99. They're like, "Oh, he takes offers. I'll just throw him a buck 50, see if he'll take it." And you come back at
Yep.
a buck 75, and now they buy it. Well, they might not have looked at it at all if you didn't have offers. They might have just
Right.
passed on your card entirely. So it gives you the opportunity to do that. Or just like we talked about a couple minutes ago, you say, "No, I'm not going to take that offer," and then whammo, somebody comes in and buys it at full price. I have that happen all the time.
Yep.
So just to get some looks and some watchers or whatever on a card can be enough to help you get that sale.
And I truly feel that the culture of the card community is a haggle culture. Like
Hmm.
anyone who has done this for any amount of time goes into every purchase with no intent of paying the list value.
Yeah,
Right?
everybody likes a deal. Sure.
Right. Now, why do we, you know, list on the higher end sometimes? Because there are a lot of casual shoppers that will pay
Hmm.
that and don't look
Yeah,
for a deal, right?
I
Or
get
just
tons of
don't
them.
want to make the effort. Yeah, they're just like, oh, $2,
Well,
fine. You know?
and money is relative, okay? So $1.99 might be a big deal to somebody to pay that. And another
Mm-hmm.
person might be like, I make like $300 an hour. I'm not going to
Yeah.
even make an offer for $1.99 card. I'm just going to buy it. Well,
Yep.
lo and behold, you get that sale and you got above the price that maybe you were, expecting to get. Does it
Mm-hmm.
add some time and some effort into your day? But it's part of the business. You're right. We are on an auction site, people. You
Yeah.
have to keep that in mind. And
Yep.
everybody's buying multiple cards, so they're looking for different deals. And there's another seller who's going to be cheaper than you. That's just how it is. And yeah, that's just part of it. Honestly, I enjoy it. I like that little bit of
Yeah.
dicker back and forth, and it's still on my time. I don't. It's not. I'm not taking phone calls to do this. I'm not
Right.
having somebody walk into my dealership to do this. They send me offers. Okay, I've got a half hour now. I pull up some offers and I take a look at them and I either counter or accept. You get 24 or 48 hours. I can't remember now. But you get a significant period of time to respond to those. And
I think
once
it's
they make
24.
an offer, yeah, once they make an offer to you, that's contractual.
Yeah.
So if you accept it, 6 hours later, they still have to buy the card. So it's not like you're under a time pressure, um, other than that, expiration period time, which is a day.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I've made tons of sales all with all kinds of different results from this exact scenario. I've gotten the $1.89 when I counter.
Yeah.
I've gotten a counter back at $1.75 and I take that. I've gotten messages from buyers that are like, "Well, I'll buy these 4 other cards. Will you take my $1.50?" Yeah, no, I'll take your $1.50. So it's just opening the door to make a transaction happen. And I have plenty of times too where I would counter it at $1.99 and they decline it. Okay,
Right.
then we all move on. I mean, it's no skin off my nose. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, and you're right. There's other factors too. Well, maybe when I price this card mattered more. So
Yeah.
now that this person's making this offer, okay, that's probably a more appropriate price. You know, I'm not gonna. I have 54,000 listings. I'm not gonna go change the prices on them. So
Yeah.
it just sort of allows you to kind of modify your business as things are going
Yeah.
without,
Or maybe,
having to dig into all of it at once yourself.
yeah. Or maybe you got 5 offers on that card and every one was well below your asking price. Well, maybe I've priced myself out of that market for that card and maybe I need to be a little more flexible on it, right?
Yeah, but that's precisely my point. Now, if you didn't accept offers, what would happen with that card? It would just sit there
Just sit. Yep.
because you're over the market. Now, we're talking about a player who hasn't played in 30 some years. So it's not the same as okay, well, I got a Alex Verdugo rookie card. Well, I kind of want more money for that now than I had before with the Yankees being in the World Series, and he just hit a home run yesterday. So things just change, and you have to be willing to be flexible with it.
Yep. I agree.
Um, and it's on cards like that, right? So let's say this card was $9.99, and he came through and offered you 750. Well, you might be like, I'm gonna take that.
Yep.
So it's really the thing that impacts it the most is when you get to this low end, and now you're looking at, well, fees are gonna take all of it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of motivation to make that sale at $1.50
And then,
in the
I typically will look at some recent comps when I get an offer too. Not every time. I mean, but if it's a card I'm not that familiar with, I'll take a look at that and see what they're going for. Does it make sense? Has the market gone down since I listed it, like you said before?
Yeah, right.
Maybe they were paying $3.99 when I listed it 6 months ago, but now they're going for a dollar 50 because that particular player went and did something stupid and his market tanked, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's just it. There's so many variables to almost every single item.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's where I think best offer kind of helps you with that because you get to make that decision. You don't have to take the offer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somebody makes you there's plenty of items where I'm asking $6 for the card and they offer me $1. Well, I'm not going to take $1.
Yep.
So there's plenty of them you can just kind of write off, but it's just par for the course. It's just how business works.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
somebody's going to go into the car dealership. Car dealership's going to say, "Hey, we got a no haggle price." That person is going to try to get a lower price. That you just that's business. That's how it is. So if you can't do that, then the business might not be the right one
Right.
for you.
Right.
So all right, should we get back to some chat? I mean, we kind of skipped ahead when we were doing the
Yeah, I can get us back on
trivia
track
stuff, but
now.
can you? Uh, Lofi Joe says, "Goat heads." Goat heads to you as well.
Yeah, I saw a nice
Uh,
discussion in Discord about stew merch too. We might be thinking about putting out some stew merch.
yeah, it's something we've kind of kicked around, I guess, for a little while. We started doing the goat type thing. It seems to make a little bit more sense now that we have the show, and that's
Yeah.
the baseball card show, or the card show, if you will. We have this live show. We have enough things that kind of tie to it, and I thought I'm gonna ask, because if everybody's like, why the hell would I want that? I think I would kind of shy away from it then. But I had this vision. Well, you know me, I like the marketing stuff, right? So some business I do outside of this is I do different marketing materials and stuff, items that I make for another organization. I had this idea for a T-shirt where it's the goat with with his mouth open, but instead of him screaming, he's saying, "You you can't sell what you don't list."
Okay.
And I liked that. I thought that was fun, because I really want a shirt that says that. It's my
Yeah.
clothing.
Yeah.
Or a goat with an open mouth, and it just yells, "Yo, yo, yo." I mean, I know those are my things and not your things, but you'd have
But
your
that's
things
the
too, like,
thing. There's
yeah,
options.
yeah. Um, "I'm so thirsty, could you bring me a liquidity list?" You I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we could do with it, and I thought, "Is anybody gonna even want any of this crap before I, think about trying to get into that?" Because 'Cause I've done a ton of merch. I've made custom socks.
Yeah.
I've done baseball hats. I've done rain jackets. I've done scarves. I've done patches, coins, stickers, pens, sunglasses. I've done bottle openers. Like, I can make anything. But quantity matters. You can't get 5 baseball hats made.
Right.
You're never, the price would be so astronomical.
Right.
So it would have to have enough of an audience. And the stuff I do outside of this has a bigger crowd than what we have with our group at the current time.
Hmm.
Um, so, we'd really be biting in if we did anything, um, to get a quantity for a price that would make sense to sell it
It's true. It's
at.
true.
So we'll see. Unless we went by a for went with like a unless we went with like a one by one printing um company, like Bubble or something like that, where you just put
Mhm.
your designs on there and then somebody can order the one shirt, and then you just get a
Right.
commission from the shirt, essentially, instead
Yeah.
of us ordering 500 shirts and then trying to sell the shirts. Um you can play the game that way as well. So I don't know. We'll see, but it did seem like it had some interest. The poll was positive, in favor of having merch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wouldn't be like all giveaways. I would love to do some giveaways on our live show each week. So I think that would be fun too, just to have some stuff that we could give away that makes sense. But then yeah, it would be a support store kind of thing. Support the live, support the goats, contribution merchandise type purchasing. So, but I think it could be fun. So we'll keep kind of a watch on that. Right now, like I said, I don't think we have a strong enough audience to warrant mo- most items. Maybe stickers, or Stu having his own trading card. Maybe some of those that make sense. Smaller items
Right.
like that, but even stickers are super expensive now.
They can be.
When I
Yeah.
first started doing stickers, I could get like a decent yeah, I could get like a decent die cut, sticker, or round sticker for, 15, 20 cents, and now it's like 70 cents for a stick. I don't know.
Yeah.
The prices of, well, like everything, they've gotten expensive. Um, and the problem with that is, okay, I'll pay the 70 cents to get the sticker, but will somebody want to buy one from me for $2, to make it
Hmm.
worth, doing the merch? Um, so yeah, for future discussions, I just thought I'd make a pitch and see where we could go with it. But yeah, as the card show grows, and as our live show grows, and our YouTube channels grow, and things like that, it starts to have viability.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as long as Stu survives.
I think he'll make it. I think he'll make it. He lost an ear and he keeps
Yeah.
on going. So
Yeah, I might need a couple more battery changes before we, get to the merch point,
yeah,
but we're closer than we ever were before, so
yeah.
we keep moving in the right direction. Branded Collectibles is here, and I say hi to you. What is those? What are those logos? What is that?
Are those yo-yos? Yo yo yo.
Snakes?
No.
Oh my gosh, they're yo-yos. That is the dumbest yo-yo picture I've ever seen. That barely looks like a yo-yo. So, all right, that's
I
pretty
couldn't
awesome though.
tell in the chat until
Yo-yos,
you
I
put
love
it
it.
on the screen. I
I
couldn't
love
make
it.
out what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have my little tiny computer screen, so that doesn't help either. Logical Collectibles is here. If you're going to let them choose, make sure the regular dealers. Oh, he's referring to the card show. Make
Hmm.
sure the regular dealers get the same spots. Makes it a lot easier for shoppers to go to their favorite dealers. Yeah, and what's funny about card shows is it fits in line with most other things where there's like assigned seating, right? So when I was in college, I would go in these classes. So, when you're a little kid and you're in a class, like you have a certain seat you're supposed to sit in, right?
Right.
But when I was in college, and I'd go into some of these bigger classes and auditoriums or whatever, and you can sit anywhere you want. You know what I did every day when I went to class?
You sat in the same spot.
You sat in the same spot, right? So we're just creatures of habit. Like it's just like when you go to work, right? So you get up at a certain time, brush your teeth, you go get your Starbucks, and then you get into work and you say hi to Bob, and then you sit down and you log in and you punch in or whatever. It's kind of the same way for the show. So I fully expect most of the dealers are just going to choose their previous spot. Um, if they buy in early and they want to change their spot, fine. But then that's the spot that they wanted, and going forward, that's probably the spot that they would keep. And I do the same thing with the KI show. Charlie and I have had the same spot for, since its inception, really. Um, I like that spot. I know exactly where to go when I get there. My customers do know where I am, which I agree with you. They're logical. That's logical. um, so yeah, that's why it was important to us to give them, those who supported us for the first show, to give them first shot at being where they want to be, for the next one.
It World
Joe
Series
says,
game just got a little bit better.
why?
There's been a little bit of a comeback in the game. It started off pretty lopsided. I don't want to give away the
Ooh,
score.
5-5. Dodgers
Oh,
just put up 5, huh? What?
I said I don't want to give away the score, and then you're like, "Oh, five
Well,
five."
we said earlier it was 5-0, so they already knew that initial score. Let's see what happened
What
here.
I'm curious about is how did the Dodgers score?
Looks like it was some defensive errors.
Teoscar Hernandez double.
Yeah, a couple of hits and then some
Freddie
defensive
Freeman.
issues,
Yeah,
I guess.
doesn't look like any homers.
That Freddie Freeman, man, that kid can rake, that's for sure.
Yeah, he can.
Okay, back to the show. Let's see. Oh, no Dallas helmet and a sledgehammer in the parking lot prize. No, we do not have Dallas for this a Dallas prize for this particular show. Maybe we'll do that for a future show. And once you win a helmet, I don't care what you do with it. If you want to smash it in the parking lot, have at it. That's fine by me. Just pick up the mess. So we don't have to, have the venue pick that up. That's not their problem.
I don't know if they would do
Uh
that for everybody on Dallas, but I might find people doing that with Aikman if it was his
really?
helmet. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I feel like people
I don't
around
know.
here hate Troy Aikman.
Yeah, and well, he is a really bad broadcaster. I mean, he's basically, um, a sleeping pill. But Yeah, I never had a problem with Troy Aikman. I always thought he was a nice guy. Wasn't never did anything bad. Out on the field or in his personal life, kind of thing. He's fine. He played on some great teams. He's never really come out to be like I'm the best quarterback because he's not the best quarterback
He's
ever.
taken a lot of
He
lumps
was
as a
very fortunate.
rookie.
Yeah, but he was fortunate enough to be on an extremely good team at a good time,
Yeah.
um, for Dallas. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a hater much. Like I don't hate most players. Like I don't understand that. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess if it's your like main rival, Um, I used to hate Ryan Braun because he would crush on the Brewers, and he's a cheater. So I'd never really like that part ever from an athlete. But yeah, but outside of that, all right. Troy is here. He says good evening. Dan, of course, is here. Hello, all. Hope all is well. Yeah. Is anyone else having the ad recommended total not updating once you updated the items missing in the listing? Ad recom ad recommended total not updating.
So it's always kind of sporadic for me. Some fields recommend things, other fields don't. I haven't noticed a difference in the last couple days.
Yeah, I don't think I've noticed that either. Is he referring to like listing directly on eBay? Is that
Yeah, that's a good
is that
question.
what he's I don't
I,
know.
that's what I'm
No,
talking
I
about
haven't
when I look
really.
on my phone.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. I don't have the scanner right now, so I've only been listing on my phone anyway. Um yeah, I haven't really seen any of that kind of issue. I'm gonna skip all the should Charlie take the offer posts here. Uh, although I like this one. Max says, Charlie, your motto should be you can't sell what you don't accept offers on.
Yeah.
Uh, true to some extent. Um, Branded asked a question here. If we're going to counter at 10 cents less, then ask why not just keep it at $1.99, turn offers off. Save yourself the time and headache. Because that's how sales work, which we kind of touched on. I I don't really want to go to $1.50. It's just such a small margin then at that point. So I'll just come back at $1.89. They'll probably come back at $1.75, accept and move on. But that's how the game is played. Um, and for the same reason I said, you know, exactly before is I don't want that person to just pass me on by because they don't take offers. And it's really not that much time that gets involved. Charlie's right. I my strategy is to price at Nike prices, and a lot of the times I just get the sales. I don't really have to do a lot of offers. The other thing I like about offers on all the cards is a lot of times when the customer is going to send you an offer, they send you offers on multiple cards.
Yeah.
And I look at that totally different than I do a single card. So it gives me the opportunity to give them the discount that still equals pretty much the same profit for me or more than if I was selling each card individually. So you can't look at everything as a single card. And I get what you're saying because that was the example we were using here was this one card that Charlie got an offer on, but it's not always that simple.
Yeah. I always like to check my sales that I haven't shipped out yet too, because a lot of times I'll have a buyer pay for a couple cards and
Yeah.
then come back and send another offer on another card. Well, if they already bought 3 cards, yeah, I'll give them a pretty good discount on this fourth one when they buy it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's yeah, it just you need flexibility. You can't be well, I need flexibility. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I need flexibility. I want to be able excuse me, to be able to adjust my prices based on the market value has changed, or this is a good customer of mine, or they have multiple cards they're offering. There's so many other things that can come into play than just this card's $1.99 kind of thing. Let's see. And that's kind of what Average Dave says here. He says, because even if it's just 10 cents off, certain people feel like they're getting a deal and you get the
Mhm.
sale. And it does make your customer happy, which ultimately is
Yeah.
still a goal. You're going to send them that card. They're going to leave you a feedback. You know, um, if 10 cents off, makes them feel good about themselves that, they got one over on me, great. They can have it for $1.89.
Right.
But I have a ton of them where because I do 10% off when I send offers. Okay, so that means $1.99 card. I'm sending them an offer at a dollar. Is that $1.89? No, it's $1.79 because that'd be $1.80.
Yeah.
So it's automatically sends an offer of $1.79 anyway. So I'm kind of right in that same field. So I offer them 5% off, I guess is the better way to do it, to say it. Because they're already making an offer to me. Already have them on the hook that they're looking to buy this card. They took the time to send me an offer. Are they going to want to reject it and then try to go find that card again at a better price? They might be like, well, I got it for $1.89. That's fine. I'll take it. Um, I've gotten a few weird offers, price offers. Like, let's say I ask $1.99 for a card, and I'll get an offer for $1.82, and I'm like, why the hell are they offering $1.82? Then I go back and look at it and where they're at, and if I accept the $1.82 with tax, their total purchase is $1.99.
Okay.
So what they're looking to do is have me cover their tax, essentially. So there might be different motivations for different people making different types of offers. So yeah, it's the world is complex financially for sure. And there's no right or wrong. If you're like, well, I just don't want to deal with offers, I'm not going to take offers, then don't take offers. But
Mhm.
you will potentially lose some sales from some people who want to make a deal, and don't want to pay. They never pay an asking price. I would never go up to a dealer's table, spend an hour digging through their dollar box, grabbing 50 cards, and then just pay them $50 for those cards. There's no way in
Right.
hell. I would make them an offer. So if that's the norm, like at a show or doing other transactions with cards, why wouldn't it be the norm when you're dealing with selling cards on eBay? Lugia's Den says when you start looking at it in terms of time, offers top becoming worth it offers not becoming worth it. Uh in my opinion, on certain dollar amounts. I have 30K items listed and have offers turned off on anything below
Oh,
$5.
I think it's offers
Yeah, I
stop
mean,
becoming. Yeah.
stop. There you go. Stop becoming worth it. Um, yeah, if that's your opinion on it, that's fine. I have 54,000 listings and I can handle offers just fine. That's not something I've ever brought up on here. Like, oh, I have all these offers and I'm sending all these offers and it's just taking up all my time. It just doesn't. Not for me. You can do everything on a phone now. You don't have to get to a computer and you do it a few times a day and it's really not that big a deal.
You can also use some features with eBay. So both sending offers, you can mass send out
Auto
offers on
declines.
a bunch of cards, and you can auto
Yep.
accept offers at a certain amount as
Yep.
well.
Auto accept and auto decline. Yep, you can have a
Mhm.
minimum offer amount. So, Charlie's right. That's a good point. You can curb those activities, and let the program do it for you. So, I will not be turning best offer off on any of my listings. That is not something I will be doing. Johnny says I got a $1 offer and a $1.99 card. I don't even respond to those offers. Do you guys respond? And this has been brought up a few times in the past too. And yes, I do. I reply to every offer. Now it it depends on what the asking price is. In this case, your asking was $1.99, so that is low end. If your asking price was 99 bucks on this card and they offer a dollar, no, that's something that I would probably just decline because You're too
They're not
far apart.
serious.
You're just too
Yeah.
far apart. If you watch any of these shows or, channels where it's like, professional sellers are like, "Oh, we're just too far apart in this deal. This isn't gonna happen." That's how I feel about that one. A $1.99 card, they're offering a dollar. They're just fishing to see if you'll take the buck. Um, I'll counter back at my $1.89, and if it sits there and it goes away and they don't accept it, so what? It took me less than 10 seconds to type a dollar, hit return offer, type $1.89 and send it. If they are serious about actually buying the card, they'll come back. They'll either accept your $1.89, okay, I got this guy's bottom price, or they'll come back and say, well, how about a $1.50 then, or $1.75 or whatever. Um, and you can try to walk them up, to a price that you're actually willing to accept, and you might get a good customer out of it that way. So yes, I respond to them.
I
So
do the same.
I have this philosophy with businesses. Now I understand what you're saying is you're talking about like people who just send $1 offers on tons of random cards and and they know you're not going to accept it. Um, I think there's less of that happens than we assume. I think most buyers aren't going to waste their time doing that. But my take on it is you never want to ignore a customer. So if you just don't respond, you're ignoring a customer or a potential customer. I think that's a very dangerous activity because there's so many places they can go that will give them attention. Um, I don't want to be that. And if I made an offer on a card, let's say, Charlie was selling the card and I for $1.99, it made him a $1 offer and he never responded to me. You think I'm ever gonna buy anything from him? Probably not. And if he comes back and he says $1.89 and be like, oh, maybe that's his best price. I'll offer him $1.75. I'll give some to his side, and boom, he accepts it. This is awesome. I can work with Charlie. Charlie and I can do some business together. He's
Yeah.
willing to, negotiate with me. I'm willing to negotiate with him. I'll buy some more cards in the future. Maybe I'll get an even better deal. Um, that's really those are the types of relationships I wanna grow. Um, and then boom, you go to your eBay store, you look at your followers, and you got one more follower on your list. Now they're gonna accept your coupons. They're gonna see your store letter. Um, they're gonna be sent, hey, the dollar box just listed these new items. Like now you've got them engaged, and I don't know. I for as many as are just complete fishers of I send a dollar out on tons of random cards, just to be annoying. You're gonna have a lot more that are not that. From my experience, just from what I've been dealing with.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I do occasionally get someone that just like spams offers on, in their. Well, I don't mind if someone fishes for the lowest price they can have on a single card. But when they start spamming it on 20 cards and there's no way in hell that you're going to sell these for whatever they're offering, that's when I start thinking, okay, this isn't a serious buyer. I might block them. But your couple of cards here and there, I think those are decent potential buyers that are just using a different tactic.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. Some people just like the negotiation. That's
Mm-hmm.
for some people that is their thrill of the chase. They don't even maybe they don't even care about the card or want the card. They just want
That's
to
true.
know how far can they get in negotiations, and I don't know. It can be a fun game to play. Now, if you've got a super busy day and you don't have time for $1 offers and you just let them expire, it's fine. You could certainly do that. I just don't know that that's a great regular practice to just ignore any offer that would come in at a dollar. Max says yes, it's worse than garage sales. Um, That's exactly it. Same thing. If I went to a garage sale and I saw a big box of cards there, a quarter a card, I'm not paying them a quarter a card. I'm going to make a
Yeah.
negotiation. I just bought like 1,600 cards or something from my local card shop. I didn't pay them asking price on it. And card shops are less willing to negotiate. The margins are smaller. So, um, I still won't. If I'm going to buy this much stuff, I want some kind of deal. I
Yeah.
think that's just expected, especially on a quantity. Uh, Brandon says to Lugia's Den, I don't even have 4K listings yet, but I do the same for anything under $3. So he's also not accepting offers under $3. Um, yep, I always respond even if the offer is junk. Sometimes I feel as the way the buyer says I'm interested to open negotiation. 1,000%. I agree
I like to party.
completely. Yes, I like to party.
That's how I feel about sending offers too. Like that's me
Mhm.
saying, I like to party. What do you think?
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Here. Here's your. You just toss that hook, right, and see if I'm currently Bill. This is Bill. I'm gonna get this wrong again. Siamus or Siamus. He told us once a while ago. I haven't
I
seen
missed
Bill
I
in a
believe.
while.
Yep.
We haven't seen Bill in a while. Welcome back, Bill. I'm currently at just shy of 11K listings. 10K of those are trading cards. The other 1K are random items. I have a crap ton of cards to list with my goal of reaching the 60K max. Excuse me. And the rest of his statement says, should I delete the 1K in random items and open another store now? It's up to you. I don't think there's a problem with having other items in your store listed in your store. I do that sometimes. And if you're at you said 11, yeah, you're at 11K, you got plenty of room before you're going to hit
Yeah.
that 60K. When you get closer to the 60K, you want to take a look at it, maybe remove that 1,000 items and move them to a different store. Yeah, then that's something that is worth a review. But why would you open a second store now just for 1,000 items like that? It probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Probably a little early, and I don't think there's any reason not to have kind of random things in your store. Um, in terms of it doesn't dilute your brand at all, I don't think. So
Right,
because
right.
people aren't I would have a hard time imagining someone scanning through your cards and being like, wait a minute, why do they have this record in here? This Pink Floyd album in here. Well, I don't like this seller. I just can't imagine something like that happening, right?
Yeah. And that also assumes that somebody's just looking at you as a seller versus I want this Bo Jackson card and Bill happens to be selling it. They don't really give a crap whatever or what else you sell. You
Right.
just had the card they wanted to buy. So Max's conversation changes if we weren't pushing up against break even though for sure. Yeah, and that's
That's
exactly
right.
what we said too. Yeah, if it's not a $1.99 card, that can change some things. Bill says I have a lot of vinyl and other random items to list, but not sure if I should be mixing it all with my cards or not. I would. Why not? If you have a decent, eBay account and feedback and stuff like that, that's precisely where you want to list anything you have to sell. There's tons of stores that have a bunch of cards and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that's not weird. Like that happens. Let's see. Brandon agrees with Max. Make what does it say? Make oh, make a stew tray for the scanner. Ooh, that could get. I don't know. I don't know how
Oh my
you would do
goodness.
that. I don't know how you would get the shape um that you'd want for that. You'd almost have to put like a picture of stew on it, so that you still
Right.
had the correct
Yeah.
so you still had the correct tray. Chris Longball is here. He says he's enjoying the content. Thank you so much. And that's probably a good segue here to say, hey, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Helps the channel. Subscribe and join our Discord. It's just about to pop up here. Well, here's my Patreon. If you want to contribute to the channel at all, you can go to the Patreon. Otherwise, the Discord right there.
Here
There's a
comes
invite link. Yeah, there's an invite link to the Discord if you want to join that real active group. We've had a few more joiners again this week.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of seem to pop up in groups. It's like you get one and then you get a couple more over the next day. So we have some great conversations on there. Lots of sharing between different sellers and strategies and tech help and topics on eBay and pickups and sales. And Charlie started something kind of cool this week. First sale of the day, so he'll share his the first card that he sold in the day, and other people have jumped in on that. I don't even know what my first card sale is of the day. I get up in the morning and I just scroll through all of it. So um, I haven't been participating in that, but I probably should. But yeah, there's tons of stuff on there, different places, different channels that are in the server that you can go and find information. It is free. Um, so go ahead, use the invite link, jump in, and be a part. All right, Odd Merchants is here. Offers shut off, $1.99 with 10% off. Have a bulk discount too. I'm not going to haggle over a dime. If you want the card, it's $1.79. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have I don't have anything set up for automatic offers because I want it. Like I said, there's so many different variables to it. I just treat each one as they happen. But I also do this full time. Like if your time is super limited in what
Yeah.
you can do with cards and you have a bunch of listings, you might want stuff more automated, so you didn't have to focus as much attention on it. So I get that. That makes sense. Let's see. Max says Aikman and Buck are great announcers. People in Wisconsin are the only people I hear crap about the two being bad. They've gotten the best games since Madden quit. I actually don't mind Buck as far as like his announcer abilities. I just think he's biased as hell. Which I don't really want. I just want somebody to say what's happening in the game, not like, "Oh, this is my favorite player tonight." I don't really want that out. So that's my one thing with Buck. Aikman is just boring. There's no energy there. And I love Romo. Some people hate Romo. He's from Wisconsin, and
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with him. Um, there's plenty of announcers that I think are really good. And I don't have anything against Aikman. Actually, I was the one standing up for him. Um, but I don't know. I don't find him entertaining at all. What are your thoughts on those two?
I don't have a problem with
Buck
either of
Buck
them,
doesn't
but
like the Brewers, by the way.
I don't know about
This is just
that.
because it's a small market team. He generally pumps like big market teams, it seems.
Yeah, but I don't know that that means he doesn't like a small market team.
Well, okay. I mean, I would say if
um,
you're biased towards the other markets, that would mean but
yeah, I think I don't fully understand why people get such strong opinions on some of these announcers like Aikman. And I hear just as many people talk about how they hate Buck too. I don't have a problem with really any announcers that come to mind. Um, even like who was it? Bill Bradley. Like he got out there sometimes, and I was like, I don't know where he's going with this. It it just I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Like it's just part of the game, right?
yeah.
So but I do like if I go to a tavern or something like that or a family get together, um people are very opinionated on announcers and I have a sense of humor about it, really. Like I think it's funny when people talk about it.
Yeah, and I don't really care a whole lot either way because I don't watch sports live, so I barely ever see these guys.
Yeah.
Um, but the little bit, that I've seen of Aikman, he kind of stands there with his microphone and he just, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't feel compelled to tune in to watch him. Let me put it that way. Um, and yeah, from as far as the Buck stuff, it's just what I've heard. I don't feel that way myself. I could care less about Buck. It doesn't bother me. But
Yeah.
that's what I've heard from other people say is that he's just biased towards like certain players and teams and stuff.
I do like, I will say I am a fan of Al Michaels. I'm a fan of, was it Kevin Harlan? Those are guys I think do a good job. I used to love Vin Scully in baseball. I would turn on MLB radio and listen to him
Yep.
because I was out of
Yep.
market. There are certain people, I guess, elicit um, memories in me just hearing their voice on TV or in the
Yeah.
radio. um, so I think I probably have some strong feelings on the positive side. I just don't have any strong negative feelings about any announcers. Like I hear
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, I turn it off if they're on."
Yeah.
Well,
I don't take any of this that seriously. It's just sport.
yeah,
I think that's it. If you're real hardcore about it, maybe that matters more to you. But I agree with you. I have more positive feelings towards like Harry Carey. He was awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, as a Cubs fan, I always enjoyed listening to him. I've always loved Bob Uecker, and
yep, mhm,
that's on a competitor team, announcing side. But same thing, Vin Scully, I loved him as well. I always liked Dickie V. I always thought he was pretty fun and
yeah,
entertaining. PTP baby,
yeah,
I liked stuff like if you're gonna provide some entertainment and stuff. I liked it when Dennis. Do you remember when Dennis Miller did Monday
Monday
Night
Night Football, yeah,
Football? And I always thought he was kind of fun. Just a
yeah.
different. He wasn't a football guy. He was a stand-up comedian. I was like, this is kind of cool. Doing something
And
different.
people always
So
talk about that being such a failed experiment, but I had no issue with it. I mean, is it something I
no,
look back on and be like, man, I wish Dennis Miller was still on there? No, but I,
yeah,
I had no issues with it.
yeah. And like I said, I don't really have a horse in this race because I don't watch like full live games. But and even now, it's like you could watch the same game on like 5 different networks and have 5 different announcers. Like, it's different
Yeah.
now than it used to be where you're right, you would turn the radio on and, like, that's the guy you had to listen to, like, there was no choice. If you wanted to get
Yep.
the Cardinals game, especially out of market or something, like, that's it. That's the announcer, and you have to deal with it. Now it's like, "Okay, well, I don't like the radio announcer, so I'll watch it on TV instead. Okay, well, I don't like the"
Yeah.
you know?
I used to do
I
that with Max McGee and Larry McCarron, or not
Yeah,
Jim Irwin,
yeah.
right? And Max
Yep,
McGee.
Jim Irwin, yep. Yeah. I've done that with, soccer. Sometimes I'll turn on the Telemundo version instead so you can hear the Spanish announcers because 'cause
Okay.
they're fun. I don't understand a lot of it, but they're so into it and they get so, "Go, lo, 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 lo," and
Yeah.
they do
Mhm.
their whole bits, and it's just fun. Like, I don't need to understand what they're saying. I can watch soccer and follow it all on my own. I don't need the commentators, so I just, for me, it's just, okay, well, this provides some added entertainment to me more
Right.
than anything else. But yeah, announcers is it's a weird topic. Um, why people get invested in announcers is
Yeah.
interesting. I used to love Stoney too from the Cubs. Um, oh crap, what
Hmm.
was his it's something Stone, but they always called him Stoney. Now I can't remember what his actual name is. Um, not Steve Stone. Was it Steve Stone? No.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Hold on.
Oh, now he's got to know.
Stone.
I will say, Max, I do think Madden was
Yeah, it
one
was
of the
Steve
great.
Stone. Yeah, he was a color commentator for the Cubs from 1983 to 2004. It's Steve
Okay.
Stone. Yeah, I always enjoyed him too. He was on WGN. Remember the old Super Network or what did
Yeah.
they Superstation? The Superstation, which
Superstation.
is what I
Yeah.
watched the Cubs on when I was a kid. It was him and Harry Carey for a while, and then of course, Harry Carey couldn't do it any longer. Then it was him and somebody else. I don't even remember who the other guy. Oh, was it Santo? No, Ron Santo. Maybe it was Ron Santo. I don't know. It's eluding me. That's how much I don't care because I can't even remember any of it. Max says Braun is trash. No argument from me there. All right. John Sports Cards has been doing investigation into eBay promoted listings. Sounds like a scam to me. He had a buyer purchase a few cards from his store and eBay charged for promoted. If it's true, um, mm, it's a scam and it isn't. So if you read the promoted rules, if they clicked on one promoted link and they buy any other cards, there's a promoted expense to it, even if they didn't get it for that specific link. Um, I've even had, I don't know if you've ever had this, Charlie, but I've even had orders like, let's say I get an order of 10 cards. I might have like 5 cards were promoted and 5 weren't.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
So, it's not like they're just throwing a promoted fee on all your sales. And the bigger you get and the more you have regular customers and the more you're doing a better job of getting your own listings out there, doing your own promotion, the more you'll get orders where there isn't promoted fees anyway. So you can kind of, get yourself out of it. It just helps you, sell cards that maybe you're having trouble promoting yourself. You're using the eBay algorithm to help you get those out the door. That's how I look at it anyway. But I have tons of sales where and I promote basically all my items except newer listed stuff. And I have tons of sales where it's not a promoted listing at all.
Yeah.
That I'm being charged for.
I don't really
Another cool
spend any time thinking about was this supposed to be promoted or not. But I will say I can see where a claim like this might come out because there's not an easy way to track was it really promoted? Like, okay, I put it on promoted, but I don't know what eBay did with it. I don't know how that buyer got to it. I know how it's supposed to work. There's no way to actually verify that.
right, correct. And and that's where I agree with the statement of sounds like a scam. It does because
Yeah,
it's not transparent enough. It's not transparent enough. We're just trusting them that this was through a promoted link and they're charging me. My only defense to that is, like I said, I've had tons of sales where it isn't a promoted fee, so they're not just throwing it on everything. I can tell you that for with absolute certainty. But is it legit that that person actually went through a promoted link? I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
There's no way to measure it. No, that's one cool thing about offers, and we talked about this earlier with Charlie's example when I asked him, "Hey, is that a promoted?" Because they have to tell you that. So when you get that offer, it'll say you got an offer for $1.50, and it'll say, based on your promoted blah blah blah. It has a whole paragraph of crap on the bottom, and it'll tell you a percent. It'll say this sale may be subjected to an 11% promoted fee or whatever.
right,
Um, so that's one of the things I like about offers too is I can look at that and go, yeah, there's no promoted money coming out of this one. I could sell it a little bit cheaper, or hey, there is promoted money out of this. I need to stick to my price. That can
right.
influence which way you go with your sale too. He says huge class action coming for eBay. Well,
If
we'll
it's
see what
true, yeah.
happens. I hope so, and I hope we win because I've paid them plenty of promotion money. I would love to get a chunk of that back. Thank you very much. And do I want to not have to promote? Yes. I think every seller on this planet would tell you that. Um, but that's just currently not how it works. In order to, get get the sales and get enough eyes and move yourself ahead of the pack, that's what it costs. I have a eBay reseller that I watch once in a while. He doesn't sell cards, it's other stuff, but he has really good insight onto eBay and algorithms, and like he's just does a good job with it. And he said that last year he spent 800 and some dollars in promotional fees and he got $40,000 in sales out of it. So you gotta decide what's your breaking point there of how much you're gonna, let get taken out of your sale versus how much it gives you an opportunity to grow your sales.
Right.
Growth comes at a cost. It does. That's how it is. Max says $1.89 still continues the conversation. I agree.
Absolutely.
And that's why I do $1.89. Now, you guys, a lot of you guys I knew were going to disagree with me, and that's fine. Um, come back at $1.75. That's what Charlie wanted to do. Somebody said $1.79. Somebody said a few people said take the buck or the buck. What was it? $1.50? Something like that.
$1.50, yeah.
$1.50. Take the $1.50. There's no right or wrong. You have to do what works for you. Most of the time, I don't have to take the $1.50 because I have plenty of sales, especially on cards of players that regularly sell. If it's a Nolan Ryan card or it's a Patrick Mahomes card or it's a like, dude, I don't have to take discounts on a lot of those cards because they just sell no matter what. And if somebody really wants a discount, you buy enough cards and use one of my coupons, and you'll get it
Right.
bought right down to the price that you want anyway. So you can buy your own. My customers can buy their own discounts. They just have to buy more cards. So let's see. What do you think? Whoops. What do you think about new eBay changes for this quarter? Didn't read too far into them. I read the feedback one just because it was kind of a hot topic in the server at the time. Um, but I didn't go too far into any of the other stuff that came in the newsletter. So you might have to enlighten us. What do you think about them and what are they? I don't know.
Yeah, I was the
I don't
same. I
pay
did not dig too deep into them.
I don't pay too much attention to it because honestly, a lot of that stuff doesn't really pertain to what I'm selling. Doesn't impact it. Um, I don't know. I don't know. And let's say you know eBay comes out and they change this thing. Am I going to leave eBay? No. Where the hell am I going to go? So I kind of have to work
You're
within their
trapped.
parameters because yeah, kind of. I mean, eventually the goal would be to get out of that, but it's pretty tough. And we've talked before about using other platforms or starting your own website to do all your sales so you're not giving eBay the money and blah 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 blah. But it costs you so much more to get the customer eyes than just being on the eBay platform, and the eyes are already there. And they know that. They know that. There's a reason they're charging you and offering you promoted stuff for extra fees and like
Yeah.
there's a reason they do all that because they can because they've got the power. Some of that power has been leaving, and that's why we're starting to see them cater a little bit more to the seller side. Um, but yeah, not enough yet. There is still no competitor to eBay for what we sell, especially. Let's see. Nor a huge fan of John sports cars, but there is some validity to his claims. Sounds like a bait and switch. Yeah, I mean, I can see. I agree with Charlie. I can see where it gets viewed that way, and I don't know that it is or that it isn't because, like I said, there's
Right.
no transparency in any of it. It just says promoted listing sale, and then it shows you a percentage. Well, how do I even know that's the right percentage? How do I know you're not just adding 3% onto that because you want to make more? So instead of 4%, it's 7%. Was it really 7%? You know, if you're doing dynamic like I am. If you set your ceiling, I guarantee you, if you set your ceiling at like 4%, every single promoted listing sale you have is going to be at 4%.
Right.
So you're just going to be paying the full price anyway for that, and then maybe missing out on sales on other stuff because you can't go above the 4%. So I don't know. I like the dynamic. I stick at that. If we find out anything different that eBay's hiding stuff or charging fees they're not supposed to charge, then I'm sure eBay is extremely regulated and audited. I guarantee it because they're the largest auction house in the world. So they're getting looked at. And I would think promotional charges is something that gets constantly reviewed, and they have a lot of attorneys on it and so forth because it is such a wild card in what they do. If you have Eli says if you have base cards that show comps in the range of $1.25, $1.50, are you still pricing at $1.99? No, I'm pricing at $4.99. No. Um, yeah, I don't price anything at $1.25 or $1.50. I'll do $1.99 best offer. It's my
Same.
lowest price. Yep. And if
And
I
that's
really
based
don't think I can
on
get a dollar,
that's based on our selling costs and the margin that we feel we need
yep.
to operate at.
Yep, and I know I'm better than most of the other sellers out there. I'm more professional. I have 1-day shipping. I'm top rated seller plus. I have 14,000 feedback. I have 86,000 transactions or something insane over the past 2 years, and um 99.9% positive feedback. Like, I have all the things there that show you why I should get $1.99 for that card. That's up to the buyer to decide if that's what they want to pay or not. Now, that being said, there you go,
Take a
Charlie. I
drink.
threw a that being said out there for you. I don't have anything to
Bro.
drink. All I had is water tonight. Water. My water's gone. Wait, no, I have water in my other. I had a backup water bottle because I knew I was going to be parched getting through this. So anyway, the way I look at it is you can buy that price down yourself by using one of the coupons and buying more cards. So I give everybody a option for a discount. You're just not going to get it on a single card to buy it down to $1.25. It doesn't make any sense. Not for the time and effort, and like Charlie said, it doesn't financially. There's no reason to do that. Troy says eBay has made it easier when sending offers. You can mass send offers if you want to send a 10% off offer. Yep, that's
Yep.
exactly what I do. So I go in as a matter of fact, right before the show started, I had like 26 items I could send offers on. I clicked on it. They changed it in the last couple months. I'm sure everybody noticed it, where it's like this little pop-up box now where it has you can choose percentage or dollar amount off, 10%, whatever. Um, and that's what I do. It just always pops up at percentage. I just type in 10% and hit send, and it goes to all of them. And I do that many times a day. Pretty much whenever I see that there's an offer I can send, I send an offer. Johnny says just sent in a $1.89 offer. Hope it wasn't someone watching this. Well, I guess you'll find out. Good luck. Hopefully the $1.89 works out. Let's see. Josh Vanderpump. I like the option of fixed price with a coupon of something like 50% off 10 or more. Your thoughts? Sure. That's definitely a way you can go about it. I think at this point, most of us are pretty solid on coupons and using them. Whatever tools you can use to help you get multiple card sales, in my opinion, is a big plus because that's where a lot of your profits will come in. Max says, I reply to everything no matter what. Activity helps the algorithm. Never understand why so many people get scared, upset over offers, antisocial or something. Uh, I'm exactly with you, Max. I'm here to do business. If somebody reaches out even a fingernail to say, hey, I might be interested in doing business with you, I'm going to participate in that. And then, like I said, if it goes way too far apart, then that deal goes, and that's fine. Um, but for the most part, I've been able to make deals with most of the buyers. I would say 80-85% or more uh, of the time. We can come to some sort of common ground if the person is truly interested in buying the item and not just making a low ball.
Yeah.
But that's again par for the course. If you accept offers, somebody can offer you something very low that you don't want to entertain, but that's how it is. I always I kind of think about it like I do as a person, right? I always try to be the bigger person. If somebody does something negative to me, I'm not going to just jump up and do something negative to them. Like where does that get anybody? So, if you're just throwing out bullcrap offers and you aren't even interested, and I reply and say, "Hey, I'm willing to work with you. I would take this price," and then you walk away from that, I don't look bad doing that, right? So, um, I think that's just your. I think that's the best platform to take on that. But I agree with Max. I reply to everything. If somebody's willing to engage me, um, I'm going to be responsive to that. Where's my battery? We're at 30%, Charlie.
Oh, you got plenty.
I know. I don't know how I did so well tonight. I have 15K feedback, which definitely helped me sell two $600 cameras in the last 10 days. Yeah. Um, I think individual feedback doesn't matter. I had to clarify my statement a little bit in the Discord because I think people were like, "It does matter. Matters to me." And then I was like, "Okay, calm down, everybody." What I meant is, if you get a negative comment, it doesn't turn everything upside down. eBay doesn't measure you on that. Um, as long as you have a healthy, positive feedback surrounding that, it has a small impact as far as your percentage and things like that. You just eat it and move on. Um, but I agree that your total count, your total unique feedback account does have some impact and
Sure.
that's displayed right on the screen. So like somebody goes to look at one of my items, it says the dollar box, um, top rated seller plus, and then it says 99.9% feedback, and then your feedback's number. Like those, eBay wants the customers to see that information. So yes, I believe your total feedback count is something that's important. uh Bucks on STL kid, lol. I don't know what
Yeah,
that
I
means.
think he is a St. Louis Cardinals. Well, his dad was the announcer there for years, I believe.
Yes, correct, yep. uh the secondary crews are poor, can really notice the difference when someone else is announcing. I don't listen close enough to care. Yeah,
It's true. There
same.
can
I
be a
don't.
big drop off.
Yeah, yeah, and about the only sport I would actually watch like an entire live event of is soccer, and there are just like thousands of soccer announcers, so you never know what you're gonna get. They have some really good ones though. Um, there's this guy that does some of the Man City games. I'm a Manchester City fan, and he comes up with some really interesting stuff to say during the event. So like, let's say a ball gets played long, and an offensive player runs on it, and he's outrunning the defender, and he scores. It's like, oh man, that's some 1.21 gigawatts of power right there, and and he says stuff, and it's in this heavy English accent, and I love it. It's just so entertaining, even if it's not my team scoring. I'm like, dude, he made a Back to the Future reference. That's awesome. Um, yeah, or like, oh, he stared him down more than your 16-year-old daughter stares at her cell phone, or so. Like, he comes up with all these different things I really enjoy. I have no clue who he is. Couldn't tell you his name. I just know once in a while when I watch and he's on, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be pretty fun. Because I want entertainment out of I always looked at sports as an entertainment. I never took it too seriously. To me, it's just like going to watch a band play or anything like that. I want to watch players that are entertaining. If you're not going to be entertaining, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah.
Um, and part of that is being good at your sport, and part of that is being interactive with your team. And, there's all the other things that are part of that experience. But if I'm not gonna watch a bad movie if it's not gonna entertain me. So why would I watch, a bad game if it's not if I'm not gonna be entertained? And that is definitely a matter of opinion too, because I just said I watch live soccer games. Well, I bet most of you don't and wouldn't be interested in that. Wouldn't find that entertaining. And that's the way I feel about a NASCAR race or, any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't appeal to me, but I understand why other people like it. My father-in-law loves watching competitive fishing, which
Oh,
which
okay.
which is a thing, as a live viewing, and just like this guy getting this off of his boat and then this guy casting over here, and I'm like, dude, no, I have no interest in that at all. But something for everyone, right? Bill says, "Hey Charlie, Pat Hughes is great. You should give him a listen."
Yeah, I think I have heard him a few times.
Somebody asked how I feel about Tony Romo. I got to that before we got here to your question, but yeah, I like Tony Romo. I think Tony Romo's kind of fun. Max says Miller was bad. Oh, that was horrible. I think the worst part. I liked Miller, like just listening to him and stuff, but I think the bad part was he knew nothing about football.
Nothing.
So I think that made it really hard for him. Nothing. So I think that kind of made it hard for him to, um, be a commentator. And then I don't think who was he doing that with? Was that with Al Michaels at the time, or was that Frank Gifford or something? Frank Gifford, maybe.
No, Al Michaels would have been there, I think, but I don't know who he
Yeah,
was. I don't
because
remember who
I'm
he was with.
what I'm remembering from it was the other announcer and him just didn't really they didn't really
Yeah,
play together that well.
was Dan
Like it was just too
Deerdorf
weird.
still
Like
there?
I don't think so. I don't think it was. Because I remember Miller would tell his jokes and the other commentator was like, "Yep. Okay, so the wide receiver ran this route," and it just wasn't it didn't really it was kind of a nice experiment, but it just didn't blend. That's all I remember about it. I didn't watch much of it. I don't watch Monday Night Football, none of that. But
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can confirm. Yeah, Monday Night Football alongside Al Michaels. But
yeah, that's what I thought it was.
who was the other one? It was after they fired Boomer Esiason.
Oh my god, I don't
Uh,
remember him being on there.
no,
No, I don't remember Boomer on there.
it's funny. We just said that he knew nothing about footballs, but in a quote from Al Michaels, after interviewing Dennis Miller, Al Michaels said, "It was way beyond what we expected. I had no idea that he knew as much about football as he did. He made points that other analysts we brought in never made, and his points were actually better."
And I'm sure he's not lying at all
Well, why would he?
because he gets a paycheck to get along with everybody at the network. No, I don't know. That was my how I felt watching it. The few times I watched it, I was like, he's just telling random jokes, and then the other guy is talking about what's happening on the field. It was just weird. It just didn't. I liked him. I thought he was entertaining, but it was a strange package to put together.
I really only find references to Al Michaels being with him. Was it just those two in the booth?
Yeah, it was just those two. That's all I
Okay.
remember was the two of them. Yeah. Max says, I think a lot of the disdain for Buck Aikman is the same as Nickelback. People claim to hate them in public, but don't in reality, and it's more of a meme at this point. Yeah, that could be.
Dan
Yeah,
Fouts.
it's cool to hate. Is that what it is? Who? Faust?
Dan Fouts was also in the booth.
Oh, Dan Fouts. I don't
Yes.
remember that either. I don't remember him at all. Yeah, Steve Stone, Stone and Carey. Yes. Stone does White Sox. Yeah, I remember he left. I don't understand why people hate Dan Orlovsky on ESPN. He breaks down the NFL games. I don't know who that is. I can't help you.
He's a former quarterback that works for ESPN now. He does a good job breaking down the insider, player view of the plays.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll tell you what my intake of sports is. The day after, now I am a little bit interested in like championships, so I'll watch a little bit of World Series games or whatever. But normally what I would do is like Monday after a football weekend, I will go onto YouTube and I'll just watch the NFL always puts a video out of each game that's just like highlights of Chiefs versus Broncos. And I'll watch
Yep.
that. And there's definitely announcer commentary on it, but I'm just watching the highlight plays and then that's the end of it. So I'm not bought into the broadcast at all. I just want to get who scored, who didn't, who's injured, just for the sake of cards more than anything. But yeah, so no, I don't know Dan Orlovsky, so can't help you there. He wants to be hated. So is he like the bad guy in WWE? Is that what we're saying?
He's a
He's
heel.
the heel, the villain. I don't promote and get as many sales as other low end card sellers with a 9,000 card store. Yeah, I know you've mentioned that before. I all I can tell you was I didn't promote for a while, and as soon as I started promoting, my sales skyrocketed. So it works for me, so I stick with it. It's built into my what I charge anyway for the card, so I don't really care. Which seller are you referring to regarding promoted listings? I'd like to check out their content. I don't remember his name or his channel. Uh, it's one of those things where you get down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I stumbled on him, and I watched a couple of videos, and I liked how he presented it and stuff. Um, and he had been talking about the promoted listings and his results from that. But I'm sure if you look up, promoted listings on eBay on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find plenty of people who've made videos about it. Uh, might not be a popular opinion, but eBay is cheap for what it provides us. Don't say it too loud though.
Yeah, that's how
I
I
don't know
always
if it.
viewed it too.
Yeah, I would say for what we sell, I don't know that it's cheap, just because it just cuts into some margin. Um, or I shouldn't say margin. It cuts into the dollars more than anything. But yeah, it as somebody who's sold a lot of items off of eBay where I've had to promote my own website, things like that, it's costly, it's time consuming, and no matter what you do, you're still not going to get as many highs as eBay gets. So yeah, it eBay's a pretty good deal. Um, eBay is cheaper than Amazon. Yeah, you don't want to sell cards on Amazon anyway. As far as seller fees, yes. Anything that detracts from the product on the field just hurts bad. Like NBC games where Bob Costas comes on and tells us stuff nobody cares about at halftime. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch them, so I don't really. I liked how ProSet used to print announcer cards. Yeah, and they used
I
to do
grabbed
like
those.
some coaches and yeah, I love ProSet. The Super Pro, I love that card. The Santa Claus card. Yeah, ProSet was awesome. Their 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 card quality was terrible. Like the stock was bad, the printing was bad. Um, edges were always frayed and stuff, but they had some cool content in their products at least.
Sure.
All right, so we're caught up in the chat. Let's get to our next topic since we're just about done here. Let me just pull this up. So I have a question for you guys, and I just tried it tonight, and I believe you can only do it in the mobile app, or at least that's what the instructions told me. But have you tried the AI backgrounds at all for your images?
I haven't. I haven't been able to find the option to use it.
Okay, so check this out. So you take your listing on eBay. Let me just pull up an active. Actually, I'm going to do it through a message because I had one that I was working on. So if you pull up the message, or excuse me, pull up an item you're selling. Okay, so I've got this Brett Favre PSA Stadium Club Super Bowl stamp card. Nice
All right.
rare card there. Then you go revise list. Actually, yeah, you have to go revise, I believe. Yeah, revise listing, right?
So this is on
So
stuff
you want to
you
go to your
already have
revise.
listed? This
Well,
isn't a new
that's
listing.
because
You
that's
already have.
what I'm showing you. But no, you can do it when you. Yes, you can do it with a new listing as well.
Okay.
Okay, that's not going to work because I have an offer on it right now. Hold on, I can't edit the photo. Let's see. Here, we'll try it with this one. I know I don't have an offer on this one. Okay. So when you pull the photo up, see the little photo functions you have on the bottom there?
Sure.
Right underneath, there's 4 of them. So you've got
Mm-hmm.
your brightness, you've got your rotation. See that one in the middle that looks like a little box with an eye in it?
Yeah.
Click that.
Okay.
And you'll see AI trying to do some funky things.
Ah.
Then it brings your card up there. It sorts the card out. Now you have AI generated backgrounds. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So you can do colored backgrounds, which it defaults to white. And I haven't even figured out how you can change it off of white. It doesn't look like you can. This is kind of a new thing. Then they have studio, surface, and outside. So I'll click the outside one and then watch what it does to my photo. You can see this.
Yeah. I just did the studio one,
I
and
don't
it
know if you
does
can see that
some
at all.
interesting things.
Let me click on this one. Yeah, so it shows, see how it shows my card like on a group of rocks? Look, I took the photo outside on some rocks.
Yeah.
Here's one where it's got like a sunset in the background. You got the sunset back there. I don't know if you
Yep.
can
You
see
can
that.
see it.
Yeah, with this Tony Gwynn card. It's kind of interesting. It adds a little flavor to your listings if you want to, add some different backgrounds. And there's tons of them. Since it's AI, you can just keep hitting the generate more, and it'll just give you, more looks as you go. Is this the
So
surface one?
I both like and hate this at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It's Amazon for you, Charlie. It's something new you're gonna have to get used to.
So
So
like
here's
this
this
is
one where it's like on a cement, like a
yeah.
cement broken cement sidewalk kind of thing.
Here's one that I just did with a Mr. Potato Head Toy Story card.
Hmm.
This
Okay.
is one of the studio ones. And I kind of like
Yep.
that because I actually took that image in my photo box, and the background I have is starting to have some creases in it and wrinkles in it. And now that's all gone. So that's actually kind of nice.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I would ever use, so like here's the original. So you
Yep.
can see that line through the back where that crease is, and it reflects the light a little differently. So
Hmm.
I mean, it gets rid of that, and I kind of like that. But would I ever use the ground or some of these other ones? Boy, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it would I really wanna see different options for the solid colors. I think I'm most interested in that. 'Cause it'd
Yeah.
be kinda cool, like, let's say you have an Optic Juju Smith-Schuster card, right? So he plays for the Steelers, so he's got his uniform is yellow and black, and of course it's Optic, so it's got that nice white border, right?
Yep.
So what if you did like a solid yellow background behind that card? Wouldn't that look cool? It would really pop it and make it stand out, and so
I
that to
mean,
me, that's where you'd almost have to do it individually per card. It'd be some work,
yeah,
but
I mean, I don't know. I almost kind of like this now. If I could get it in the right place, I used one of the outdoor ones, and I'm like, wait,
yeah.
that kind of fits.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, like him being dragged back on the car, right? Because he was losing all his
Right.
body parts when they were hanging on to the car. So, I don't know. I'm not totally, like I'm not writing it off. I think it's, probably some wave of the future type of thing for the most part, but, um, I wanted to play with it a little bit, and I was very kind of interest piqued by it, and I kinda wanted to talk about it tonight because of that. I don't know if I've really seen a lot of listings that have used it or anything.
I haven't.
Um, actually, I should correct that. I haven't seen any listings that have used it yet. Um, but that might be the ploy if you're looking for a way to separate yourself from another seller. Maybe maybe pick one of those AI generated backgrounds you really like and use that for all your cards or all your items, and nobody could mistake, which listings are yours, if you have that set that way.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
mess around with that a little bit and really, come to peace with my feelings about it. I don't know how I feel right now.
Yeah, and I believe I'm pretty sure I read that you can only do it in mobile right now because mobile is the only one that has the AI function.
Okay.
Um, I'm not sure why that is, but let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me that they would have that kind of limitation because you would think the same software feeds into their desktop page, right?
Right, exactly. Well, let's try it on the desktop. I've got eBay open here. Let me try it on an item and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna go try to revise an item and see if I can get the AI on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a share. I'm gonna do a share here. Let me present my screen. Oh, stop. Yes, I know. All right, let's do this one. Wait.
Yep, it's there.
All right, so here's
It
my photo.
it's over to the right instead of in the center though on the desktop.
If I go to edit, it's what?
I It's in a different spot in the bar. Like on the mobile, it's right in the center, but I see the same icon over on the right side of it on mine. And it doesn't give me the same option. So it looks like it's only partially there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where do you see them again on here?
So you click on your image, just like you did in the mobile app.
Yep, yep.
And then
Oh, so
once
I haven't
you
done that yet. Okay, I
no,
get
you
it.
haven't. So you're a step ahead of where you need to be. You need to go back to the main revise page.
Okay.
All right, now revise it. Now just click on it from there. Just click on the Jin Urso image.
Well, that's what I did. Okay, here we go.
And then on the right hand part of the menu. But when I did it, it just did its own thing.
Yep.
I didn't have options.
Okay.
So it's probably going to give you just the white background.
It also
Yep.
yeah, gives me a white background. So yeah, it is mobile only for now.
At least mobile gives you more options. Oh no, we lost Adam. He must have hit the wrong button when he got out of there. So I don't know. That is really interesting. Like I said, I'm gonna try that out on some different images and see what kind of options come up, because I could see where sometimes if the right theme is on the card, I could see that as a decent selling option. Like, it's eye catching, it's different. You would have a look that's instantly recognizable, especially now when not that many people are using it. But definitely, as something new, that's usually a good thing when you're selling. If you can have a look that's different from other people, sometimes that grabs some buyers. There he is. Welcome back, Adam.
I clicked the wrong exit.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it's kind of interesting. I think that we could you know, find a way to use that in the future. I think you could add more AI. Like, let's say you wanted to call your store the goat store. Like, you
Yeah.
could have these different little goat images you could put behind the card, things like that. So I feel like it's got some potential. But yeah, it's definitely just the mobile app at this time, so you wouldn't really be able to do it with like your Card Dealer Pro listings and stuff. It'd have to be stuff you listed in the mobile. Or unless you go back and just do it as a revise, later on. Revise the photos.
So some of these are actually pretty impressive. I was just messing around with the Surface one, thinking,
Mhm.
who wants a card that looks like it's just laying on the ground? But I'm actually impressed that I just saw this one and it
Yeah.
actually put the shadow in that looks like it's
Yes.
from the actual card.
Yeah, it
That is
does that with the studio image ones, have some like that too, where it has the shadow. AI is getting scary good, that's for sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think it adds some visual interest. I think for what we sell, it probably doesn't add a ton of value, but think about like that picture you just showed us. Let's say you were trying to sell a pair of, you know, boots, right?
yep,
Wouldn't boots look cool in front of that, rock ledge exterior, with the nice shadow coming off of it and stuff? Like,
right,
it could
yeah.
help you sell that pair of boots because people could like see it in its environment, its used environment. I don't know that a trading card really fits with that, but yeah, I was just super intrigued by it. Anything that's kind of popping up with AI assistance, I'm really looking into because I really believe in it, and I think there's a lot of um potential. So
There's another one I tried out. So that one I could
yeah, with
see up against the
wood background.
wood grain background. Like, some of that, if you hit the generate more button, you get some interesting alternatives that I'm liking a little better than the default ones.
Yeah, exactly. Um Got a couple
Oh,
more comments here.
look at that. It's like posted on a deck or something. Like
Yeah.
that works for me.
The guy who was not interested in this at all is just
I know.
AIing
Now
the crap out of his
you got me
photos now.
hooked experimenting with it.
Yeah.
Um
Pretty cool, isn't it?
it is like I hadn't seen it before. It so far it's kind of like Whatnot, right? I always say on Whatnot, I got to look around for a while before I find the right place to settle down and make a purchase. I feel like these AI backgrounds are the same. Like I got to browse a bit before I find one that I'm comfortable with, but some of them are pretty cool. Now I
Well, and
think
that's the thing about it. You'll never run out of options because it's just AI. AI will just keep generating a new batch, generating a new batch. The more you hit the buttons, the more you'll have options.
well, and I was just gonna say one of the things we might have to guard against is tradition too, right? Like, so we talk about, I don't know if trading cards is the right item for this. Why is that? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is I think historically we've grown accustomed to trading cards being sold in a very sterile, consistent environment. It's on a mat or it's in a lighting cube. It's all by itself. The lighting
Hmm.
is all perfect. It's inside, hopefully moisture controlled, humidity controlled, right? Because condition is everything with these
Yep.
cardboard, idols. I think we would have to break through some of that feeling of, man, what's that card been through if it's out there on a deck? you know?
I don't. Uh, well, I guess I'm putting more faith in people than maybe I should, but I would think most people when they look at it, they can tell that it's a AI generated background. You didn't actually set it on a deck. I could, um, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah. So you'd be like, well, how are they handling this card if he just props it up against a pile of rocks? You know,
right,
what does the back
right,
look like? Is the back all scratched from the rocks it's sitting on?
right.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. I might try it with a couple of listings tomorrow just for funsies. See if I get any, messages or hits or people like, What is going on here?" And just have some fun with it. Try it out. I think it's good to just, you know, for a couple of cards, it's not going to hurt anything and see where it goes if it goes
I
anywhere.
I'm gonna do it with this Emmett Smith card. Let's see what happens.
Do it. I'll get some more chat while you're doing that. Um, all right. I never use mobile. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I suggest everybody checks it out. I think it's kind of fun. I'm not sure about that option for trading cards, but why not, I guess? Yeah, it's kind of where we're at. I think we have this
Yeah.
sort of same sentiment. Like, that was Charlie's very first response was, "Why would you do that?" And then he was like, "I kind of like this." So yeah, it's something that would take some adjustment. I think the studio ones would probably be the most applicable for trading cards, to be honest with you. You're getting kind of that light box effect without having to go through all the light box
Right.
hassle.
Well, and I think
So,
especially
my
like we talk about how I like to take my listing mobile, right? I don't always have the
Yep.
greatest background to take a photo of with my card when I'm mobile. Like that's why I always take
Right.
pictures at home and then have them in my phone because I took them against my mat or in my photo box or wherever it may be. This actually opens up opportunities where I can just take a bag of cards with me someplace and it doesn't matter
Mhm.
where I take the picture, right?
And I think that's the point they're trying to make and why it's probably
Mhm.
available on mobile first. Because it's probably gonna be something where you're just taking a picture with your phone and it's not the greatest photo, and boom, it doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think the whole goal is that you can shoot anything anywhere at any time and just make it look good. My one fear about that is, and I haven't looked at the cards close enough, but is AI changing the how your card looks? Is it
Yeah.
making, non-squared corners look square because AI kinda cleans up the corners of it? You know what I mean? So, when we're
Yep.
selling an item that is condition sensitive, which pieces of cardboard are, is AI helping that when we really don't want it to? We want the item itself to not have any tampering. So I
Yeah.
think
I
that would
think
probably
that's
be the
fair.
biggest thing to look at. Yeah, because you could have potential problems with that. "Oh, well, yeah, your photo looks great, but the card has round corners and that didn't show up in that photo," you know? But anyway, uh, Dan says, "Look at that. Adam sells similar idea by doing all Yankees got me a sale within 10 minutes of doing it." You owe me money, dude. Actually, not. I still owe you for the Favre card, so you're welcome. You got a freebie. Um, or we are, let's call ourselves even, I guess.
Well, the score just flipped again on the game, by the way.
Did it?
Yeah.
Um,
I'll let you spoil it for people. I don't want
no,
to.
I'm
I don't
not.
want to
I
carry
won't.
that burden.
I won't spoil it. Even in the video I made today, I referenced the series, but I did not.
Oh,
Um,
really?
but I did not say, no spoiler though. I didn't say who did what because technically the series could have been over last night,
Technically, it could have.
and I didn't want to be like, yeah, so the Yankees are back in it. Oh yeah, look at that.
I don't know what inning it is though.
Looks like it's the bottom of
Eighth.
the eighth.
Eighth inning. Yeah.
Bottom of the eighth. Um, yeah. Well, Dan, I'm glad that you liked my idea. I thought it seemed pretty smart, so figured I'd share that one. I'm trying not to share as many of my good ideas as I can. Uh, but you guys in the Discord and stuff, I've gotten stuff from your shares, so I try to throw a nugget out there once in a while when it seems appropriate. But yeah, as I'm doing more endless things, sell similar. I got a great obvious idea from someone earlier today that said, why not just end listings and hit relist? Then you don't have to go back and delete the sell similars and all that. He's like, you get the same result, which is actually true because this YouTuber I was talking about earlier that makes really good like eBay algorithm videos and stuff. He said the
Okay.
same thing. He's like, you don't have to do sell similar. You can just do relist, and it does the exact same thing. It creates a brand new
Yeah.
listing with a new listing number. He's like, why would you do sell similar? Just do a relist. As long as there's nothing you have to change on it. It's the exact same listing. You're just putting it out there as a new one. So I'm like, yeah, that could save me some effort as my primary store is going to be a lot of end and sell similar, and when the listings get maxed out and stuff, it would be a lot easier to just end list and relist.
Yeah, and we talked previously about actually you can get the same effect by just revising something on the listing too.
You can. I've
Perhaps
had
it's
I've had
slower
sales
though.
result from doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you'd have to go into each one. Well, no, you could bulk change the same thing if you had something,
Yep.
minor that you didn't mind changing or something.
And I've noticed that a lot adding SKUs because I had all those unbagged
Yeah,
cards, and it'd be like, this card hasn't sold in 6 months or whatever, and now all I did was add a number in the SKU field, and boom, I got a sale. I'm like, that's
right.
weird. So it's got to have some kind of impact to it. Um, yeah, Max says he thought there was a difference that occurred doing it, and I agree. That's what I thought too. But I haven't seen anybody say. I mean, I guess if you wanted like out of stock options or something, maybe that would change it. So this is feedback that I've gotten from an actual eBay employee, which I don't even know if they're supposed to be telling you to do this, but he said using the relist for the exact item is the best option. When relisting, any buyer that was watching the item and still has it in their watch
Oh,
list will see that you have now relisted the item and will know that it is the exact same item. If you use list similar, the potential buyer will be notified by eBay that you listed a similar item. Yes. Wait, hold on. As as a buyer, I don't at the seller has listed a similar item notifications because eBay considers a huge rate of range of items as similar. For example, when watching a postage stamp with Wrigley Field Baseball Park on it that is sold, eBay notified me that the seller listed a similar item that ended up being a put together model of the United Center Arena where the Blackhawks play.
all right.
Um, and that's not really close to what I was looking for. So if you relist it, it will send it to me as the specific item that I was already looking for. So it's actually better to just do relist. And again, from our side of things, it's even better because when you hit relist, you don't have to go back and delete the list, the sell similar listing
Yes.
where you can have an error, you could accidentally delete ones you never listed. You could I've done this before too where I'm like, "Okay, list the next group," and then it's like, "These are duplicate listings." I'm like, "Oh crap, I already listed them. I need to delete these." Um, so I think just for time savings, of course, by just hitting relist and being done with it, that's nice. But also it can help save you from, potential errors that can occur by doing the sell similar. Doesn't sell similar completely create a new listing, whereas relist just reopens? No, I believe relist creates a whole brand new item too, as well. Do we want to watch her? Okay, Max says, do we want to watch her on an item that we are considering relisting? I don't know. I want the algorithm to pick up the new listing and get rid of inactive watchers.
Hmm.
I guess there's some merit to both sides of it. If you have somebody watching something, you maybe want them to continue doing that. They're probably watching it for a reason. But I see what you're saying too. Maybe they just hit it as a watcher and they don't really have any interest in it. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see. Um, see, different thoughts on it. I guess.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm gonna be trying out different things after the show this week.
My This is what I'm bringing to the table now, Charlie. Since I have more time, since I'm almost got my store maxed out, I'm gonna bring you guys some new flavor, and we're gonna have a lot of table discussions and thoughts, and we're gonna bring this thing uh to the future. We're gonna take this stuff to the next step. So make
We
sure
should
you
take it
guys
back
are
to the future.
yeah, right. 1.21 gigawatts. Um yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed, join the Discord. There like this kind of stuff happens on a fairly regular basis with our groups. Making sure that, we're all trying to stay on top of things as things change. I suspect with AI, there's some tax things that are potentially going to change some stuff with competition increasing, eBay looking to join more of the seller side. I suspect we have a lot of cool things and opportunities coming out in the future, and we want to make sure we stay on top of that too. Um, yeah, I don't know, but maybe that's just an experiment to try. Maybe I'll do a couple batches of end and relist, and I'll do a couple batches of end and sell similar, and
Oh boy, it looks like we lost Adam. His battery died. I thought it was just a little glitch here in the internet. You know how Adam likes to remind me that my internet sucks and it freezes up. But he actually got his dead battery, which is right on cue for this time of the night. We're at a little after 10:30 Central here, about almost 2.5 hours in. So that is right on cue for his battery life. Hey, appreciate you all being here this week. Some good conversation. I know I speak for Adam as well that we really enjoy doing this. Hopefully, we see you again next week. We've always got some new things to bring out here for you. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please give us a like. We appreciate that. Lets us know that things we're doing out here are helpful for you. Great interactive chat out there. We really appreciate that. It's one of our favorite things about this show. So appreciate y'all coming out. But I think that's it for this week. So until next time, peace out. Take care of each other.